Thanks for staying with us. Thanks for sending us some stories already, which we have. And that's why we love to discuss family life issues on Thursdays, because that's when we discuss real stories that people are going through. And we got one today, I think a few days ago, actually. Toko, I'd like you to share that story with us.
Yes. So the woman sent in the message, said she's been married for 17 years. And the last time she and her husband had intimate relationship was in May 2020. And yes, they live in the same house. And their relationship is cold towards each other, that even those that observe them outside will see that they are not, there's been no intimacy between them. She claims that her husband has never been really big on the other room matters and was never really satisfying her before. But now it's even worse, because since May 2020 till July 2023, nothing has happened. He said, he also mentioned, so the question now is that she's worried that, is it that because the man has suddenly become born again, or is it a case of, can she cheat, or should she seek divorce? So that's a question to us and to everyone. So she wants to know if she could cheat, if she should divorce, or if she should if you have any other advice for her. So she's in tears, according to her, when she wrote this, because she doesn't know what to do, and she's hoping that we are able to offer some solution, including you. So call the numbers.
Okay, so I mean, that's really the story. And because it's a breakfast television, it's a really difficult story to talk about, but we'll try to our best, because this is a situation lots of people are going through. Interestingly, many of our mothers and aunties also went through this path, and they were not very vocal about it. They accepted their situation and lived their lives like that. I mean, all through their lives. But today, more women are being very expressive. They're able to vocalize their innermost desires and thoughts. And that's why we're having this conversation. How do we manage a situation like this, especially in modern times? You can call us on the numbers on your screen, 081 0764 1679 090 241 63440. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read your tweets. Julie, would like to start? What are your thoughts on this story from this woman?
It's a painful one because even though you're not so, I'm trying to be careful of the word, but it's a word. Even though you're not so sexual in nature or in your relationship, when there's a death of it, it becomes, you're faced with a new reality. Can I continue this relationship without having to do this ever again? Or having to do this once in 3 months or once in 6 months, or just living as, okay, roommates, we're neighbors, we're friends, and can I continue? And unfortunately, she didn't tell us if she had children. You know, it was just
17 years.
Yeah, 17 years. So she may have had children. She may also not have had children. And the first thing I would say is you have to go back to asking yourself questions like, why am I in this relationship in the first place? What was the attraction? What did I foresee was going to happen in the relationship? What's my main reason? Is it to procreate, to have children, or for companionship, or everything in totality? And then ask yourself again, are these needs being met in this relationship? And it's not a conversation you're going to have just by yourself. It's a conversation you're going to have with the man who has decided to be born again and left his duties, his conjugal duties. And I know that if you are born again, it doesn't mean you're going to abandon your duties, because even the scripture tells you that you own each other's body. It's so bad that if you have to do a fast as a woman, and you're a Christian, and you know when you're fasting, you're supposed to abstain for a number of days, you must take the permission of your husband, or the husband must take the permission of the wife to go on for those amount of days without being touched, right? So being born again is not an excuse. There's underlying issues that they already have, which if she goes to therapy, they may be able to unburden some of those issues and, you know, find a way to get her healed.
You know, in these days, the kind of women we have today don't even like to take the route of, let us discuss it, they just move on. A lot of people today, because they've gotten to the point where a lot of women are empowered. They're they're probably, some of them, I'm not saying all of them, but some women just feel like, "Look, I've tried to engage you once or twice, it's not happening," and they just want to either leave the marriage or separate from it or get a divorce. Many just feel like, why do I have to take this? You know, so that's where we are with modern society. But I'm not saying that's how everybody is. But in your view, let me come to you, YK. In this kind of situation, I know you already had your own idea of what the man could be. But what do you think when a woman is saying that I've been married for this amount of years and this man is not even satisfying me at all?
In the beginning, now it has dried up.
If it has dried up, you know, that's why communication is key.
Right.
First of all, you should go and ask him, are you a homosexual?
Ewo.
That way, we know whether we should just live as man and wife so that we hide our secrets from the world, or I move on. If I were her, I would move on. I would first communicate with my husband. But how is he doing you? Tell me, you're not attracted to me because you have different leanings,
Orientations.
different orientations. Anyhow you want to look at it. So communicate, because I think without communication, we lose a lot when we don't communicate, when we don't sit down and talk. I believe in sitting down to talk before any action is taken. Now, when you now talk, okay, should we pretend so that I can, I have needs.
Sort yourself out.
So we keep it on the down low.
Ewo.
Or should I be going?
But these days, there are options. Women have options these days. There are tools that can be engaged where you can still be.
They leave all those ones.
No, okay, I'm just saying that technology provides you options today.
Okay, so
You need.
So if you are feeling that this is not the physical...
I don't need to have relations, but I need that human
Contact.
companionship.
contact.
So for me, I feel that first thing, there's a problem. There was a problem before the final problem, which is that they were not sexually compatible, and the conversation should have been had since then. But maybe they did not have that conversation.
They don't use to.
So, but when you say that you are married to someone and you are not intimate with that person for over 2 years, you don't need to communicate. What do you think is going on? But really, like, what do you think is going on? If you are not at all for 2 years, it's not like there's a medical condition that you are aware that maybe he has a medical or she has. No. It just stopped. And then we're both now just looking at each other and doing as if we did not know that something has stopped in our marriage. Like there's a problem and they are both not knowing how to address that problem. So the first thing is, if we want this marriage to continue, a lot has to be done to dig deep into what's the foundation.
I was going to come to the causes because you said something about compatibility, which I think is one of the causes, but we overlook it. But we'll come back to that. Let me take Benga from the UK.
Hi, Mariah. Hi,
Thanks for
guys.
calling. Go ahead, please.
Yes, so regarding this topic, I would like to, I would have loved if that woman told you guys if she had this discussion with her husband. I've been in this kind of situation before, but it's not for that length of time.
Okay.
But I did speak with my wife. We had a discussion and, you know, we kind of sorted it out. We had, you know, went for holidays, and somehow we reignited the love, sort of, if you understand what I mean. So she should have a sit down with her husband, talk about it, have an honest discussion, you know, and hopefully that would build the whole.
Benga, could you share with us what caused yours? What caused yours?
It wasn't anything really. I think my wife just was a year after she had our second child, and she was a bit overwhelmed, sort of. So she just needed some rest, more support, and I understood where she was coming from, and we kind of sorted it in that. It wasn't anything serious. It wasn't like we're having a fight or, if you know what I mean.
Okay. Thank you so much. So
this part of the story is a common one when women immediately they have children, maybe after the first one or second, there's a sort of like overwhelming period of I don't know how to cope with it. Don't even touch me. I'm so overwhelmed. That's different from there is a drought persistent over 2 years.
So let's go back to the causes. What could have caused that? Couldn't it be incompatibility? Because in the beginning, you know, when you want to get married to somebody, there's the time in the movies you fall in love and it roses and the whole thing, there's this sexual connection. But in the Nigerian context, it doesn't always happen like that. Right? Let me land my point. It doesn't always happen like that because as you're going older, I find a boy in church for her now. Find one lady, one connection, maybe somebody, my friend's mommy, my friend's my friend's mother's parents, whatever it is, got me their cousin that came back from Abuja or somewhere, you know. So they are constantly connecting people, right? So it's not that love at first sight connection you get. You grow into it. And because you grow into that relationship that became a marriage, both of you are perfect, you work good jobs, you have good communication skills with two of you. But that part, that small part, that part, you didn't really address it, hoping that in marriage it will adjust itself. But then 1 year, 2 years, 3 years go by and realize nothing is happening. So it's not as if you don't have communication or you're good together, but that part is just incompatible in that part.
There's no
I
chemistry.
just wanted to tell you something.
Yes.
Before and especially talk about, you see, a man, if he not get money, nothing they happen there.
If a man is
Broke. If he doesn't have money and he has serious
So that's one of the
financial...
causes.
It's one of the causes. Nothing can happen.
But poor people do now.
For some people that have had money
do-
before.
they do the most.
They don't back up.
Their level
But
is
if you've had money before,
But if you are having financial problem, nothing. There is put the sexiest in front of him. Nothing will happen there.
okay, let me pause you for a second. Let me
So
take
that's why I think communication is always key.
Yeah. All right, we'll come back to that. It's an important point. Let me take this call and I'll come back to that point. Adebayo, thanks for calling.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, this is my first calling.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah. And to me, from my own experience, I've been into marriage for the past 22 years.
Wow.
I've been living with a woman. I know it's not an easy time with a woman. So, and at the same time, by and large, when you look at what is going on now, there are lots of issues in a marriage circle. When you work with us from my own angle, a woman should check herself. For a man to today I'm not going to the man, and you are together for the past years, it goes a long way. And we see what there are a lot of young ideas now. You look at guys now that are not supporting the marriage.
it's not so clear.
Sorry, Mr. Adebayo, it's not very clear. I can't hear you. I really want to hear. Did you hear anything he said? We didn't hear you in the studio. It's really, really muffled.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. What I'm saying in my sense is that, is it clear now?
Go ahead.
Okay. What I'm saying in my sense is that the woman should check herself. For that man to decide not to touch a woman, they have the same rule for the past 3 years. And it's not easy for any man at all. If the man is even cheating outside, you still have to play a role of a man inside the house.
in the house.
Yeah, but by and large, what I'm thinking of is that maybe there is issue beyond that sex manner has. So the woman should check herself. Because there's a way you can do it. If a man is broke, that is not.
All right, point taken.
So it's not only woman that should be checking self here.
Yeah.
Even the man self that is not doing his job because it's his
check
job.
himself.
Should check himself.
So far we talked about 3 things.
Yeah.
YK said
Financial
problem.
yeah.
I said incompatibility. Because the truth is that there are some people that are in that situation, and he's now saying that the woman should check herself.
Like there might be a...
What about medical reasons?
Yeah.
There may be medical underlying reasons that I know, and unfortunately, a lot of men are not very forthcoming in going to see the doctors when something is wrong, right? It's the women that would notice something and then they are rushing to see the gynecologist. Some men are a bit more reluctant because of how society has made it and the bruise on their ego if they actually find out that something is wrong. So for a man to stay for a long time in a house, and this woman definitely will be taking her bath and dressing up, and the man's body is not doing giz. There's something beyond just the compatibility. So for compatibility, you can now do once in a month, once in two, once in a while, just do it because you have to do it. And a lot of women actually do this with their husband as a result of, it's a chore, yes. It's an obligation. Let me just do it because I have to do it. So let me just manage it, even if it's not hitting the right spot.
Until they find a compatible...
They will not find it.
Hey, Father.
Let me just manage it, and they still do it. But to go that long without
3 years.
3 years and your husband is not moving, there's something really deep.
Yeah.
It's either he has lost any form of attraction for you, it's a medical issue, a compatibility that can be solved, with what I just explained. Or he's the other way, or he has just noticed that he's no longer swings towards you. He swings. Swings, yes. There are a lot of issues which you must have to get to a place where you unburden. So for you, a woman to even stay this long, I can't even imagine it. 2 weeks. Brother, come and explain what is happening.
Let me take this call from...
You dey fear me, go.
No.
Hey, I'll be a Julu like that
afraid of me.
Fila, thanks for calling, Fila. You're live.
By K.
Good morning, Fila.
Good morning.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, good morning. I want to talk about the issue here. It's very, very unrealistic for a married woman to be living with her husband for 3 years without intimate relationship. The reason being that when you're married, the obligation between the two people is to actually satisfy each other's needs. But in terms of misunderstanding, because I come to understand during relationship, we tend to hide a lot of things. We don't actually understand each other. We engage emotion because emotion is something that really want to protect you from the other person's flaws, and you also want to protect the other person from your flaws. So you don't actually open the room for conversation. A lot of people get married because they are emotionally attracted by what they see, or maybe some things they feel they can gain out of the marriage, or maybe because their friends are actually getting married, not because they really want to get married, because they want to build a relationship, build a family. When you have a vision, definitely a problem shared, a problem within the family requires you guys to sit and discuss. And I also want to talk about the spiritual perspective when we talk about...
I can't hear you again, Mr. Phil. The volume is...
going.
Went down. But thank you. I think he was able to make some really, really important points. Let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll continue this conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.